What up, man? We're back. All right, we did have a stream earlier today. Like I said, where we were talking about Vitali and his predator catch that has gone completely wrong. Okay. Man, oh man, this nigga is about to get sued. And I ain't gonna hold you, my nigga. Like knowing content creators the way I know content creators, boy, oh boy, Higgins are piling on. But okay, just like I spoke on in the last stream, and I predicted, it is not Vitali who it is to blame, bro. It is not. It's the staff. It's Santi. It's them Higgins that Santi be bringing on. Half-ass Higgins. Higgins that don't give a fuck. They only give a fuck about getting a couple of dollars. All right, just like I said in the last one. All right, the struggle of a boss to never know if his employee is working as hard as he is. Why? Because the employee doesn't give a fuck. Most employees are just out to get a check. They don't give a damn. You constantly got to keep eyes on them, make sure they're doing the right thing, right? When you are the boss of your own shit, my nigga, you've got to make sure that you're doing the right thing at all times, because at any point in time, your shit could sink. But there's nothing worse than another higger sinking your shit. It'd be one thing if I sink it, but if my shit sink because of another higger, and I gotta pay that higger too, man, kick rocks, man. All right. Either way, for the folks that know Gideon, I believe that's how they say his name. If it isn't, my apologies. While we were watching the last stream, or while I was in the last stream, I played a part of Gideon's response going on with Vitali. Now, Gideon as well does predator catches, but Gideon's style of predator catching is more similar to Chris Hansen, where police are involved, versus a lot of these other predator catches where, my nigga, a lot of these niggas are doing it for clout, they're doing it for clicks, they're doing it for views, they're doing it for monetization. And if the predator gets caught, then cool. Them he got the clicks, the views, the money first. Gideon's style is more like Chris Hansen, where it involves the police from the jump. Okay, but don't get me wrong, even Gideon sometimes has done catches where he then has to call the police to break it down to them. Okay, Chris Hansen will forever be number one. Why? Because Chris Hansen worked directly with police to catch predators, while a lot of these guys are working by themselves to get the clout, the views, the money, and then work with the police. All right. Either way, man. Salutes to chat. We're back. Shout out to Dutchy for being first. All right. Salutes, man. Let me see. Shout out to J Rio, Hega. All right. I appreciate the likes. Thank you. Thank you. Please hit that like button. Shout out to Route the Pigeon. Pebby's blowing kisses off in the distance. I appreciate you. Shout out to Chicken Cakes. J Rio, who the fuck is Vitali? Long story short, a content creator who went from making like prank videos to now doing predator catches. Okay, catching PDFs. Okay, he's gone from YouTube to Kick, then he went overseas, got in trouble overseas, did like 3 years in jail, back in the US now, back with Kick, and now part of a major lawsuit, okay, for getting it wrong and ruining a young man's reputation, by just, again, getting it wrong. As far as anything other than that, Google is your friend. Just hit Google and it should give you the info on it. All right. I don't think I've ever watched Vitali. Shout out to Chicken Cakes. Yeah, Vitali was known in the past for like prank videos. Okay. Definitely. If you know, like people like FouseyTube and who else, man? I think those are like some of the more known people. But Vitali again was a prankster and then switched up his content. I believe he got in trouble. That's what it was. He got in trouble. I think one time he was like high on drugs and he beat up some chick. And then, he got in trouble. And then he rebooted himself. He was doing predator hunting streams and stuff like that. And what I explained in the last stream is that, Vitali is a content creator that went from making videos to making live streams, right? And one of the major things that you have to understand, making videos, making live streams, when you go from one to the other, is that when you make videos, You can spend 5-6 hours filming the content and then give it to an editor, and he puts it in a little 10-minute, which is full of action. Okay? It's different when you are a live streamer. You might film 5 hours and there ain't no action, and the audience is like, but come on, Zaya, but come on, when's something gonna happen, Zaya? But come on, man. All right. When you are live streaming and it is authentic, you have to go with the flow. It happens when it happens. You can't force something to happen. And that's yet another thing that I was talking about, that it seems that I had right. Okay. It seems that the staff is under pressure. Make something happen, that they are then skipping steps when, soliciting some of these PDFs online. He ran, he did run on the field for like 2 Super Bowls. Yeah, well, he didn't do like streaking where he was naked, but I think he ran on one of the on the fields and shit like that. I think that's all he did. Okay, so let's, when y'all see J-Fam off in the distance, please remind me that he sent the dono. I just want to make sure that he's here when I play it. Okay, ringing a bell. Okay, well, boy, oh boy, listen, if you missed it, he did a live stream. I want to say this past Friday or Saturday, where it was typical, him catching a predator and stuff like that, and come to find out, bro, he got it wrong. The person that he allegedly caught was innocent. His staff messed up, and now that person, boy, oh boy, that person not playing. That person about to sue that ass. Okay. All right. Let's get to it though. Because I don't want to waste too much time. Me and Pebbies have a Zeb stream planned for later on tonight, so I will not be here for a long time. But I definitely want to go over this. Let me see. Let me look for it, man. I don't know if y'all have seen it. I did promote it in the last stream, but if this is your first time logging in and seeing me today, then you would have missed it. Let me see. Where is there he is. No. This is, yo, get the fuck out of here. Is he still live? Holy shit, the Higa is still live, man. He's been live this whole time? Okay, salutes to him. Yeah, that's cool. No big deal. We're gonna jump to that live. Okay, hold on. We are jumping to the part where a former manager, I believe, of Vitali, let me see, ex-Vitali employee exposes everything. Okay.
Easier to get convictions. I also think the nature of Vitali, and then also you're doing these more radicalized shaving heads and blah blah, and it's more so a lot of these prosecutors don't want to touch anything related to Vitali with a 10-foot stick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Damn.
No. It's totally.
So like in my opinion, what's the point of him doing that content then? Like what's the point? You got prosecutors that don't even want to work with you to get, these guys prosecuted. Like, what's the fucking point then, my nigga? Go back to whatever the fuck you was doing before. Because at this point, my nigga, you're only doing the predator catchers, my nigga, for yourself, as far as like, it's for your self benefit, right? And don't get me wrong, as a content creator, I get that, you're supposed to be thinking about yourself in a way, but like, what's isn't there like an importance level to catching the PDFs, making sure that they get prosecuted, making sure they go to jail? I guess, the public shaming of them, I guess, helps as well. But like, I would think that you want these higgers to go to jail. You know what I'm saying?
Understandable. So why did you hit me
on stream? This may have been the 3rd stream I was on with him. We were in this like high-rise apartment. If you look at the stream, and I can link it to you, there was like no pedophiles or predators. Sorry, I don't know what I should say. There's no predators almost the entire stream, and that's because I stopped one midway through. Santi said he had a guy. I said, okay, great. He said he's on his way. Great. What's the evidence?
So Santi is the decoy for Vitali, right?
Santi, for people that don't know, Santi is kind of like the lead decoy. He runs.
Okay, very important to know the Santi name. Okay, if I could give you a visual on him. Let me use my own. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can pull it up. Matter of fact, damn. Let me see. I wonder if mine is better to use than the other one. Let me see. I think I have it like back here. Okay. A good thing. And now I'm looking. Fuck you up. Okay. So this is the guy that is innocent. He got caught in a sting, but again, he's innocent. All right. The decoy never explained to this guy that they were below age. So technically, this guy's coming to meet what he believes is an 18-year-old girl for CNC, which is consensual and non-consensual. It's sort of like a role playing where you are acting as if you are assaulting someone, but it's role playing. The female is in, I'm in on it. The female's in on it. I'm gonna R-word you, and you're gonna say, no, don't do this to me. But we're in on it. That's role playing. That is what he's coming to do with the female. What didn't happen was that the female decoy never spoke to this guy and said, hey, I'm 16. So, and all in all, there's nothing wrong with what this guy is doing. This is Santi, right? So as long as Vitali has been doing these catches, he's been using this guy right here, right? So it's Vitali with this guy. And then this guy, what he be doing is he be hiring his friends and shit to be decoys, go online and solicit, Higgins into, hey, and what they do is they sign up for accounts. Grindr is one of them. They'll sign up for a Grindr account. They'll put that they are 18 because if you look at any of these sites, you got to be 18 years older to be on the site. So they sign up, right? They start speaking to someone. And then they try to hit him with the, oh, well, I want to meet you and stuff, and I want to do all this stuff with you, but man, I gotta tell you a secret. And the secret is that I'm not really 18. I'm really like 15 or 16. And I'm so sorry, this, that, and the third. And the point is that you already got them on the hook. So maybe they'll say, well, fuck it, just don't tell police or don't tell your mom, don't tell your dad. Let's link up anyway. And then bang, you got the motherfucker on the hook. And then you meet up and then you expose them. Okay. So Vitali's been working with Santi, and then Santi has his buddies that come on and do decoy work. Okay. It's very important to know that it's Vitali and Santi. Vitali is the face. Vitali is the name. Vitali's got the audience. Santi is the one that picks the decoys and stuff like that. Okay. Bringing on his own friends. Now, when you go to this catch right here that Vitali's in trouble for, he's in trouble because of Santi's homies that did something wrong. They're not doing the stuff the right way. At the end of the day, it's not really Vitali. Everybody is coming down on Vitali right now, but he's not necessarily 100% to blame because it's his staff that is fucking up, not necessarily him. Now, his fuck up is not overseeing the staff. Just because the staff did all this work, you still have to look through it and say, let me see if this shit's on point. Give me the evidence that you got. And a lot of times you'll hear, before they do the catch, you'll see Vitali be like, yo, let's go over the evidence. And they'll be like, okay. And they're reading, oh, well, this guy said this and this guy say that. But Vitali is not looking at the full chat log and saying, well, how did this conversation start? How did it get here? What was it that Seth was here? What was it? And that you have to do. You can't just assume that these Higgins did the right job. It's the same thing as a boss and employees. Yes, you pay these employees, you hire these employees, and you pay them to do their job, but you got to keep an eye on them Higgins. Okay, why? Because as soon as they learn how to cut corners, they're gonna cut corners. It's not their business. Okay, it's not. They are not the account that's on Kick that's doing this. It's the Vitali account. They are just workers. And it appears that these Higgins was cutting corners. All right. A shout out to Turtle Dick Barry, #Larry. Hit the like on the way in and sit down, be quiet, and drink your water. Well, salutes, man. Hit the like button. Yes, I would appreciate it. But we are now members chat only. And we are going to be like that going forward. Okay. I appreciate if y'all Higgins hit the like. But if y'all don't, I honestly don't give a fuck. Why? Because green and blue means that you guys paid to be here. Okay. As far as the whites that have not been paying and, a lot not been hitting the like button, you will watch from the sidelines going forward. Get a membership or just, it is what it is, man. I catch you never. All right. Because that's it. I'm not doing no more non-member chat streams. Peppy's maybe the Zeb stream. You know, you might see some white over there, but you ain't going to see no more white over here. That's it. Today, unfortunately, I got my feelings hurt, and I'm lashing out, and I'm going to prove a fucking point. Okay? I'm going to prove a point. And that's it. You know, it is what it is, man. So, you know, if that's all you've been hoping for, then, you know, this is where our roads just go our separate ways. If you are in white and you refuse to get a membership, you can no longer chat in my live streams. Okay? Yes, Turtle Dick Barry, hashtag Larry is laughing. And I'm assuming that he is laughing at y'all Higgins that usually are in white. Sorry. So again, Santi right here. All right. Santi. This is the Higa that's about to sue Vitali.
I'll fucking fuck you.
Look, you see that boy right there? Ooh, boy. Allegedly, they're gonna interview this guy. If he even decides to interview him, and then the female decoy is this guy's girlfriend. All right. But these guys are even here because of this guy right here. Okay, this guy right here. Which, let me tell you something. I was listening to the Gideon fucking live stream earlier today, and he speaks to Santi before he speaks to this employee guy that's speaking. And you know, he kind of was like, "Oh, Santi, it looks like you didn't have nothing to do with it." No, I knew it. As soon as I heard, I said, "Nah, it's impossible." Santi has everything to do with this. Okay, in all honesty, this guy right here should be suing Santi, not suing Vitali. But Vitali is the name. Vitali is the face. Vitali is you know, you would think if you're gonna sue somebody, sue Vitali. He's got the money. This Higa right here probably don't got squat. No offense, shout to Santi, right? You know, like, let's be for real, my nigga. If this nigga was getting it like that, he would be doing this shit on his own, nigga. He wouldn't be working for Vitali for allegedly $300 a catch. Yes, that's another thing. Pressure applied. These Higgers work off of commission, my nigga. If these niggas don't catch nobody, they don't get no money. Vitali pays these niggas $300 a catch. Now you got the mixture of commission-based pay, an audience that wants it now, and the pressure, you know, applying to these Higgers. You know, these Higgers, you know, instead of doing everything by the book, being straight with it, started to cut corners. Okay, so that's Santi right there, just for a visual effect. Okay, let's go here, man. Where we at?
Decoy for Vitali, right?
Santi, for people that don't know, Santi is kind of like the lead decoy. He runs the decoy team at that time, and also currently when this whole thing happened. There are two Santis. The one I'm referring to is the white Santi.
Okay. So you turned a suspected predator away. Why did you turn him away?
I turned him away. Well, let me say this. He says he's on his way. I say, Santi, what's the evidence? Santi pulls me away from the cameras, and he whispers, he's like, so I told this guy that I'm 18, but when he gets here, I'm going to say, hey, do you also want to hook up with my 15-year-old cousin? I'm like, dude, you can't do that. You have no evidence at all. He's like, well, it's too late. He's already on his way. So he goes down to meet him. I go, yeah, no, this is serious. This is legit. And this is before I had anything to do with.
So imagine that, man. Imagine the Higa that's coming. And again, you know, Vitali has this show on Kick where, my nigga, like, you could see the production and everything. They're waiting for the predator, right? So technically, Santi has somebody showing up for someone that's 18 or older. It's not until the person gets there that he's going to say, hey, do you want to hook up with my underage cousin? Regardless of the fact, the Hick is being recorded from the minute that he gets there. From the minute that he gets there to the minute that Santi whispers in his ear, he's being recorded, and Vitali is under the impression that the guy is a predator. Okay? Vitali's not going to let that guy go. And then you're going to get instances like, you know, the one that they just had where the guy says, wait, but that's not what I'm trying to do. That I didn't come here for that. And the thing is that they get into the mob mentality. So everybody is screaming, predator, pedophile, yada, yada, yada. You're this, you're that. And then you get these guys that, you know, they start looking nervous. And why do you look nervous? My nigga, because you got a bunch of Higgers in here, right? Once motherfuckers come from behind the curtains, you got fucking 20, 30 people here. You don't know if any of these people are going to jump you or injure you. Of course you would be nervous. The fuck?
The actual decoy team, where this is something I happen to catch. I go in behind them. They start talking to the guy. They're smiling and chatting and whatever. I go up right behind him and say, bro, get the fuck out of here. He walks away. He gets all scared. He runs. Where that was just one thing that I knew about.
So it's like, what don't you? Because I mean, you were only there for season 3, so this wasn't you
Exactly.
weren't there for season 1, season 2. So if they're doing that when you're there, what were they doing when you weren't? So the guy came to meet an 18-year-old, but whenever he got there, they were just gonna throw out the fact of,
That's
oh,
crazy.
you don't want to talk to this 15-year-old. But I mean, whenever anybody sees him on stream, they're gonna think he's there for a kid.
Exactly. No, that's exactly right. But I think it's also what I'll say is like the pressure of every stream they need. They want three predators. Oh, we're gonna stream every day. Oh, you only get paid by the catch. When you're
So
working
how much would Vitali pay his decoys per catch when you worked for him?
at that time, it was $300 per catch, which to me was the absolute bare minimum. When these catches, as I found out when I took this on myself, it's at least 3 days of work, per predator.
3 days of work of just texting them niggas, talking back and forth all day long. Could you imagine $300? That's not really a lot of money, That's really not a lot of money at all.
So context here is it's the end of the night. They want one more predator to show up. And Santi says, once again, I got a guy. And he says, and I say once again, what is the evidence? Because by this time, this is after that first mess up I saw. This might be maybe a few days after that. Okay. And so I say, what's the evidence? And he's like, okay, listen, this guy's legit, but I couldn't get him to come. And so I told him, if he doesn't come, I am going to kill myself.
Now, here's the thing, right? I wish, right? I'm a nigga that be like, yo, where's the proof, man? Where's the paperwork? I don't have any of Vitaly's streams saved, nor do I have any of the clips, because there was a clip that I did and I kept on the channel and I caught a strike over it. Right. So after that, I just got rid of all the Vitaly stuff. We watch it in the moment, we speak about it, and then we just move on. I remember specifically Santi using that line, like, yo, or if you don't come, I'm going to kill myself. You know what I'm saying? So that part, when I heard that, I said, yo, I remember him saying that. I remember him using that as a way to try to get the predator to come quick. If you don't come, I'm going to harm myself, and then the predator saying, all right, I'll just come. Now, don't get me wrong. A predator is a predator, right? A PDF is a PDF. The saying that you're going to harm yourself only made the PDF move faster, right? But it doesn't exonerate the PDF. The PDF was going to come regardless because the PDF knew that you were underage. The thing is that, like they're saying, that some of these catches take time. You have to talk to the person. You got to get the person, comfortable to be able to set them up. The thing is that Vitali is moving in a system where it's fast. I'm live streaming every day. We need to have 3 catches a day. So now what you do to these guys is you put them in a position where they have to rush the catch. They got to think of ways to make the catch happen faster than it would normally take. On top of that, like, there's already pressure on Santi and the other decoys. You're only getting 300 per catch. If a catch takes 3 days, that's $100. I wonder if all the decoys have to split the $100, or if whoever the decoy is gets the no. It has to be that team of decoys. So if you only get 1 catch a night, that's $300. Right now they have Santi. They got the other dude with the tattoo on his face, his girlfriend. Bro, that's $100 to each of them. For hours of work. Now don't get me wrong. Me personally, I've always said, you make $100 a day, and everything else, all the expenses is paid. You made $100, bro. That's a good take home. Okay, if lunch is paid, gas is paid, all expenses is paid, and you walk away with $100, that's a good amount to be making a day. That's like $3,000 a month.
What?
Can you hear me?
Bring it back.
Couldn't get him to come. And so I say, what's the evidence? And he's like, okay, listen, this guy's shit, but I couldn't get him to come. And so I told him, if he doesn't come, I am going to kill myself.
What?
Can you hear me?
He said if he told the predator if he doesn't come, he would kill himself.
Yes. he's posing as, I think it was ridiculous. He's posing as like a 10-year-old boy saying, if this person who has refused to meet up has said he doesn't want to do anything sexual with him, if the potential predator doesn't come, the decoy is going to kill himself. That's what he said.
That's crazy. All right, salutes, man. Shout out to Kalama. All right, UA first. Salutes, man. Shout out to Kalama with the donation. All right, let's get you up on the board, sir. All right, and let's go back here.
Did the suspect even say anything sexual in the logs?
I'm going to be honest with you. This is almost 2 years ago. I cannot. I don't want to say yes or no.
Okay.
In my opinion, I think this is a guy who, which just happens, as I'm sure with your catches, getting cold feet, whatever. Santi's so desperate for someone to come. This is how he gets him here.
Damn.
Okay, so can you hit play? Let's watch this.
This thing is files on files right here.
Yeah, this is the right one. Let me make sure you guys can even hear.
And look at that, like a steak. Steak.
You gotta make your money, man. Can you guys hear?
Yeah. We can hear. If you can.
So for the folks that don't understand this part right here, you see this right here? So Kick and Steak are like, I want to say that they're the same company or just affiliated with each other. So a lot of these top Kick streamers, your Aiden Rosses, your Vitalis, like they have to play the Steak, right? And they have to do it live in hopes to, you know, solicit or inspire or just get people to sign up for the Steak, right? If I'm speaking this correctly, someone like Vitali, when he's gambling on that Steak, it's not like his money from his bank. It's his, no. They Kick or Steak gives these guys like a certain amount that they can gamble, right? So they have the gambling almost happening simultaneously with the catches. Now this, remember, they're saying like a season 3 or something like that. Vitali did 3 seasons of predator hunting before he ended up going to, like, I forget what country he went to, that he ended up getting in trouble and going to jail for 2-3 years, right? Now I believe what they do is they film all the footage, and then at the very end, when Vitali is done, he goes back to his home, he goes back to his hotel, he goes back wherever he goes, and he plays Steak live. All right, this is just a cross promotion with the Steak company and Kick. But Kick's in on it. Kick is encouraging this to happen right here. The Philippines is where they went. Yeah. Okay, they are partners. Shout to Dutchie on the info.
Yeah.
So this is the catch right here. So in order to get this guy here, Santi told this guy, like, if you don't come, I'm gonna just murk myself, which is crazy because I'm looking at it. Santi got a fucking Kick goddamn sweater on. Yo, and this right here, so back then they would make Vitali do this shit like during the stream, like while they're waiting for catches, play the gambling thing. You know, now I feel like they do it after the stream.
Can you help me like hack into my stream time so I can volunteer? Can we like, you said you're giving me a back massage? Are you gonna be actually giving me a back massage?
And look, this guy doesn't want to touch him, doesn't want to do anything. He gets up to leave.
Come here. Why are you being so mean? You said you're bringing me a happy meal. You didn't bring me a happy meal. Don't leave.
And so I'm gonna skip ahead. Hold on a second. The guy's trying to leave. He's trying to convince him to stay.
Let me change this to a video game. Am I ugly? I told you. I have a big scar on my head. No.
Hold on.
Like, no.
So here they realize their guy is going to leave. They have no evidence. They have nothing. They're just going to go run out and catch him. So that's why it goes black. They're switching cameras.
Oh, what? Yeah. I'm not even. What?
And then they just instantly go into the mob mentality, just attack. Now, don't get me wrong, this ain't an innocent Higga right here. Okay, he knew what the fuck was going on when he got there. Okay, but they don't have a lot of evidence on this guy. That's another thing, that because they're rushing, they don't have the type of conversation that's needed to then pass it to law enforcement so that law enforcement can do something. That is why, you know, this producer, out of 100 plus catches that he helped with, bro, they only ended up getting 3. Where's the pickles? Okay.
He's gonna kill himself.
Yeah, so that's the only
You're good,
thing.
bro. You're good.
That was the only thing.
You're not a pedophile, right? Yeah, he's not a pedophile. How old are you? You're good.
I'm 22. I just want to make sure he's good.
Yeah.
But I'm not. Can I have your number? But I'm not into that.
No. Are you promise?
Yes.
He said he was 10. He still came
You should
over.
lie about the bat. I came over because he was gonna kill himself.
You did say that.
So wait, pause it real quick.
You see how easily a predator could get out of this and say, bro, but the reason I came is because the dude said he was going to murk himself. I didn't want the young guy to do that, so I just came. A Hager like this, bro, if he is a PDF, bro, he's going to be able to slip through the cracks, bro. He's not going to get prosecuted.
So they're mad at him for coming over, but they freaking were anxious for him to come over. So they said that if you don't come over, I'm gonna kill myself. Chat,
Yeah, and then see Vitaly admits it. You know what I mean?
like I don't know if you guys realize this, but like literally any case for this to go any further or for this to be
He's not gonna go
prosecuted,
anywhere.
like
Out the window.
and the thing is, like they all know that this case isn't gonna go anywhere. They just wanted to get another guy.
Bingo.
Yes.
So they're not catching for the sake of putting Higgins behind bars. They're catching Higgins for the sake of just having the content. Okay, like, yo, it's about to end. The chat that's watching us is just egging it on. Come on. When we gonna get a catch? When we gonna get a catch? Man, just bring somebody. Santi, yo, if you don't come, I'm gonna murk myself. So now this Higgins shows up. They embarrass him. He's embarrassed, yeah. But bro, like, if he was a real PDF, these Higgins just let this Higga go. Because they rather get the content. They rather get the content over getting the actual individual off the streets, bro.
That's not.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah. Oh.
Did you?
Yeah. I can hear you.
All right, cool. For context, this decoy here, she was brought on and trained by Santi. This is after I took things over. We still kept a couple of his decoys around.
Okay.
In some kind of way, she had really good evidence. She showed me everything, blah, blah. But what I didn't know and what she left out was, this is after we fired both the Santis. They had, quote unquote, given her this predator.
What do you mean giving her this predator?
I don't know. Like, they gave.
Okay, so he's gonna break it down, but just to give context, right? What they mean here is that, so the producer Higga, he ends up realizing that, you know, some of these guys that Santi is hiring don't have the best proof, so they get rid of them people, right? Now this is a girl that gets brought on. That what they end up doing is that some of the decoys that got fired are now feeding the information to this person that is now currently working for them. Okay, the decoys that got fired, they should be out of the picture. Okay, no longer they got terminated, they got fired because of the lack of proof that they were finding. Somehow, some way, they are still intermingled via Santi, feeding information to the new decoys.
Give her the contact or whatever. I think just super gullible.
So I think the point that you're trying to point out the most is that not that Vitali's doing this maliciously.
No.
But that Vitali is hiring incompetent people.
Yes.
Because
I would call
for
it
you guys that don't
exactly.
know, this Santi guy that he's talking about, I don't believe that Santi was in charge of the chat logs with the Thorta girl that did the whole thing that framed a cache. But he was still there, and Vitali's bringing these people that have done all these things in the past back on his team.
Jadian, I'm going to completely disagree with you.
What do you mean?
I'm going to. I believe Santi is in charge of these new decoys. I know he is.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you know he's in charge of the new decoys?
That's what he's there for.
Because that's kind of, Santi will get all of his buddies and friends, train them on how to catch predators, and then he leads that team. Like, that's how they pay him. Like, he's the lead decoy person.
He's in charge of the decoys.
So you think Santi had a part to do with Akash getting framed the other day?
There's no.
Yeah, the people that fucked up, Santi brought them people on, bro. Vitali didn't bring them people on. Okay, Vitali is just, you know, the main guy that when it all goes down, he's the guy on the mic. But he has delegated that work to Santi. Santi is the person that brings in the decoys.
Doubt in my mind. like just knowing how things operate. Because Vitali came to Los Angeles, you know, no cash, no money. Well, no, Santi will do it for cheap. Find people who do it for cheap. These new decoys are just people that Santi found.
So how much does Vitali pay his new decoys now, post being out of jail?
He called me right to prison and asked me if I was ready to run it up, whatever. I said, yeah, let's do it. What's the budget? And he pitches me. He's not giving me any solid numbers. All I can get out of him is he wants to pay $100 per catch.
Damn.
So you're telling me Miss Dortha got $100 to frame an innocent man?
Yeah. And what I told him is like, me and none of my decoys, like we can't catch for that little of it's just not worth the price. And anyone you find for that low of a price, they're either in it for clout, like Santi and this new gang that I think, or they're gonna do a very sloppy job and not care about what they're doing because they're not getting paid for it.
Because I was calling Santi yesterday, and the reason I didn't really get onto him is because like all I saw was like he was in the background, and I didn't know like his role. But I mean, obviously you would know his role better than me. So Santi's the person who facilitates all of these decoys.
Yes, and a lot of times, which this can also get you, as I'm sure you know, is a lot of times Santi, because they'll all be in the same Airbnb, whatever. Santi will be the one also doing a lot of the texting and messaging and saying, "Oh, you need to reply this. Oh, you need to say this. Oh, do this, do this."
So you think since she's new, because I haven't never seen her before.
No, yeah.
Do you know who that Gabe dude is? Have you ever seen him before? Or is he new?
These guys are both new, and you can also tell by how they're coming across, where they're getting a high, they want to scream and yell and chant. This, you know, they're getting, they want a lot of screen time. Like that's why they're doing this. You can tell they're very, very new.
So while Vitali should get the blame because he platformed this, the real people who are the people that are the cause is the decoy team. Like this isn't really Vitali's part because Vitali doesn't train them. It's the decoy team and their incompetency.
Yes, but Paige, it says something like, if they say no, they can always be convinced.
Let me see. If they ask for a D-pic, say you'll show it in person and you're scared of getting exposed.
This part's weird.
Try to change subject. Don't rely on this, but you can send other predators deep. Whoa!
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yo, you can't do that! You can't do that! No!
This is part of the reason why they were let go.
You can't! Oh my chat, you can't do that. You cannot do that. You cannot send them anything sexual. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so this part I was a little confused on, right? So I guess when you're doing these predator catches, right? I guess you can't send them any sort of pic or anything like that because it constitutes CP in a way. You got to get them to send you pics.
And this is what he's telling the decoys to do.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Don't rely on this, but you can send other predators D-pics when they
ask.
Right,
that's right. I'm like, because he would, and I've seen some where I'm like, Santi, you can't send a dick pic. Whose is this? He's like, I know, but he wouldn't come unless I sent it.
So they would send D-pics to get the guys to come.
Essentially, you're sending CP.
Chat, that is beyond illegal. Like, chat, no. Bro, that is automatically thrown out. Like, the moment they sent that, it doesn't matter. Everything's thrown out. That is illegal.
At least the part to take from this is that, bro, like, what they're doing is almost guaranteeing that the person's not going to be prosecuted. They'll get the content, they'll get to embarrass the person, and they'll just move on to the next. And that's all it is. So in all honesty, with all due respect to Vitali, his shit is just a circus, nigga. A circus and making motherfuckers look crazy and then move on to the next. There's no intention on actually the person getting arrested and serving time and stuff like that.
Oh my god.
That's crazy.
Bro, you should have led with that, bro.
This is just what I know about. There's just so much, dude.
This is just what you know about. And is there anything else weird you saw? Schedule time and place to meet. Meeting at their house isn't an option. People who take the bus and Uber are better options because they can't run away as easy. Okay. Offer to buy an Uber for them if needed. We do the same thing.
I think, to be honest with you, I worded it differently. I think one of the weird things for me that I added, I changed a lot when I started my own decoy team. Like, hey, how about what is the actual list of like evidence and how to get it? You know what I mean? For turning it over to the police. Like, there's none of that. It's just how to catch for a stream. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
because this guy didn't say, like, all he said was
he's probably a predator. Don't get me wrong.
And so that's the part that Gideon says that, like, you know that you're talking to someone that has intention, but in order to get them prosecuted in a case, you need more than that. You need them to initiate a sexually charged conversation. Just saying, hey, I like to kiss. Do you like to kiss? And that other person saying yes. I'm sorry, my nigga. Like, again, you're looking at the person, you're saying, oh, that's disgusting, but they're talking to a 14-year-old. You're right, but that's not enough to prosecute a case. You need more evidence than that. And some of these niggas are rushing so fast that that's all they get. And then the person comes and they get humiliated and everything happens. And that is just good enough. You know, Vitali, there's been a lot of streams where Vitali has like criticized the police for not coming as fast, or the police for not doing something. The thing is that he's not even doing it right, that if the police show up, the person can get prosecuted. Okay, a lot of these people are just getting let go. I think Vitali even had a situation where the same person came in different seasons. Come on, man. You know, do you want to get the person off the street? It's one thing to say, you know what? I want to get the person off the street. I want to make content from it. I want it to be something that, you know, everybody benefits from. It's another thing that you really want to get the content. You want to get the humiliation factor. Yeah, the cops are going to come. The guy's going to look like he's leaving in cuffs, but the next day he's going to get out of jail. And the prosecutor, when they look at the evidence that was provided, the prosecutor is going to end up dropping the case. You know, the whole thing's scripted in a sense. Yes, that did happen. Remember, Pebbies? There was some dude that they got that nigga came in like 2 different seasons. You know what I'm saying? And they was like, oh my God, I can't believe we got the same person. Well, now you can believe why, because the evidence wasn't strong enough to prosecute the person.
Yeah, no, 100%.
But that is not enough at all. Like,
and let me tell you something. The evidence not being enough to prosecute a person, as crazy as this may sound, bro, like that predator, bro, you almost giving them confidence to just say, fuck it, I'm not going to get in trouble. I'm going to go do it again.
Exactly.
that is you that's them rushing it. You know, nothing sexual was said. That happens all the time, but it's fine though, because we just be patient, because eventually they're gonna break.
They're gonna slip up. Yeah, no, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, but them slipping up is based off of you giving them time. You know, a couple days, a week and a half, 2 weeks, a month. The problem is that at $300 a catch, and a fucking boss is telling you, nigga, I need 3 catches a day, we gonna stream every day, it's damn near impossible. You know, you're gonna have to cut corners in order to make it happen. And unfortunately, Santi is responsible for that entire decoy team. When them decoys fuck up, it should fall on Santi, bro. Okay? This little lawsuit that's happening, Santi can't just back up and, oh, well, I don't want to have nothing to do with. No, Higa, no. You brought on them other Higgers that fucked up, bro. You know? And you know what? It's probably best that Santi just say, yo, listen, I'm going to be honest with you, bro. Like, the standards that you have me under, 300 a catch, you want catches every single day, you know, plus the chat, you know, is pressuring us to, you know, give catches immediately. Bro, like, I just, you know, I not cut corners. I don't want to think that they are, you know, putting evidence on fake people. I believe that these are still predators that are catching. They're still running across predators. The problem is they are rushing the predator to get to them for the content and not developing the evidence that is going to put that predator in jail. You feel me?
And Gideon, I want to tell you that it's just it's sad where the reputation that we've gotten has led to a lot of dangerous people that keeps me up at night, slipping through the cracks.
So shout out to Jonathan, man. This is tough. I remember earlier with the watermelon situation. I feel like, poverty-stricken countries, especially in little towns, they rather do street justice. Yeah, you know, and I get why. You know, like even in the United States, like, you know, who would think that, you know, we have to acknowledge that even someone as sick as a PDF has rights, bro. You can't violate that person's rights. You know, things have to be done a certain type of way, have to be done by the books, you know. But unfortunately, like when you do things by the books, it's not always a guarantee that someone's going to be held accountable. Hell, if we just use fucking Controller as an example, how many times has she broken the rules and not been held accountable? You know, that shit is frustrating, you know. And it could lead to someone saying, well, fuck it, I'm not going to do it by the books no more. You know, technically, in a way, that's what I've done, you know. In going over there and going to Boca and making her uncomfortable and all that, that's sort of my own version of street justice. Why? Because, you know, like the year prior, Officer Miller telling us, well, go to the Orlando court and do this and do that. And my nigga, that shit was a waste of time. That shit was a waste of time, bro. You know, so I could see where Higgins just do get frustrated after a while and just say, man, fuck the police, nigga. The police ain't gonna do nothing. And if they're gonna do it, by the time they figure it out, man, that person has probably violated other people. So fuck it. Let's just street justice. We know where the nigga lives. Let's go drag him out of his house and beat him in the middle of the street. That's why street justice occurs. Because the real justice is a slow process. You know, it's a slow process that more times than not, the person ends up getting away with it versus is held accountable. So I could see why a lot of Higgins, you know, especially small towns in them poverty-stricken countries, it's easier for them to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's much harder to do that in the United States. But I get the logic behind it, you know?
I can believe that.
And listen, this is another thing with what he just said. You know what I mean? Like, yo, like if you look at some of these catches, right? Whenever the police are involved, and it looks like it's going to go in the way that, you know, somebody might get in trouble, it takes up more time. You know what I mean? There have been instances where Vitali is being held at a location and he's talking to the decoys, the Santi Hig, and they're saying, yo, the other person is ready. We got to go to the other catch. And Vitali is saying, but the police haven't let us go yet. They haven't released us. You know, don't get me wrong. Like, you know, that is the process. You got to stick around. You got to give the evidence. Why these people don't have the evidence already ready? Why these people, like when the cop shows up and they say, hey, do you got the proof? And you see them doing like this. Well, look at the thing on my phone. My nigga, you should have that chat log already printed out in a folder. Officer, here. This is the entire chat log. This is the entire conversation that we have with the person here. This is everything you need. They don't never have none of that ready. I think I maybe seen them one time have it ready. One time. After that, never again. Shout out to Jonathan. Imagine them fake charges she be throwing at you if someone came at you with hammers and shit. You know, this is what. But listen, the internet doesn't care. That's the point. You know that. The internet don't care. The internet think it's funny. The internet think it's a game. It's not a game to me. You know what I mean? And maybe that's one of the reasons that, you know, light skin ended up convincing me, yo, you should get a piece, my nigga. With all the charges that niggas be throwing at you, you don't know, my nigga. One day somebody could say, you know what, fuck it. You know, I'm ready to cash out this motherfucker. And you know what? I heard something about Zaya, man. I'm gonna go do harm to Zaya. And then at the end of the day, my nigga, like, what it comes to light that, you know, I'm not even guilty of what motherfuckers is throwing on me. The person that did something to me, that person's going to jail, and the trolls continue to live on the internet. You know, that's another reason why I'm just, you know what? Man, fuck the trolls. The trolls ain't even worth nothing. If you ask me, my nigga, we done ran the trolls up out of here. You might get the one occasional idiot that comes in here and repeats the same shit. But I done run the trolls the fuck up out of here. I done run the trolls the fuck up out the donos, nigga. I did that, nigga. I did that because I'm a real troll in real life. Okay? So salutes. Another reason why I should be members only, nigga. Man, shut the fuck up with that stupid shit that you come in here and repeat every fucking time. Go kick rocks, pussy. Go somewhere else. Okay? Congratulations, my gift. You know, in a way, my gift to fucking Sandman. You see over there, right? Sandman be having 100+ people up in that motherfucker. One day, Sandman's going to get tired of that too. Sandman don't give a fuck right now. That's the same way I felt when I first started. I didn't care. Oh, man, yeah, let everybody be up in here. Nah, nigga, nah. Okay? He'll get tired of it too, nigga, and he'll do the same thing. Man, fuck these fucking weak-ass trolls, nigga, that don't bring nothing to the fucking equation, bro. Nothing. Okay? I feel better, nigga. I won't see not one of you niggas. Okay? You're going to have to put some fucking money on it, nigga, or kick fucking rocks. Okay? Kick fucking rocks.
But, I would like to have a conversation.
Not the Pebby. Santi has been there for a long time. He's not getting rid of him. Wait, hold on, though. Here's the thing, though. Did Vitali know all of the things that that former producer was saying? Okay. If Vitali does not get rid of Santi, we all know why. Okay. If you've been listening, then you know you'll get it. Vitali don't even got a fucking budget to pay these higgers. Okay, you gotta keep Ashanti, if anything, because that's the only nigga that's gonna take $100 a catch. Remember, they used to get paid $300 a catch. Now they get paid $100 a catch. Okay, you pay for what you get, right? When you are fucking cheap, what you get? Cheap in response. When you hire fucking cheap higgers, what you gonna get? Slacking higgers that don't do the work. They just want to collect on the 100. Okay, he could keep Santi, but like the info's already out. Okay, Santi looks crazy because he's only getting $100 a catch. Santi looks crazy because niggas know he cutting corners. Okay, every predator that Vitali catches after this, them niggas got the out if they only knew it. I didn't do it. Look, they got the last one wrong. Okay, who knows if motherfuckers even take these niggas serious after that? You ask me, Vitali needs to fucking cut loose Santi, send that nigga on his fucking way, and just go do some different type of content, bro. The Pred Hunters is maybe not the one for him. Okay? Go back to doing pranks and stuff like that.
Conversation with Gabe and
all right, let me get rid of this. All right, chat. It is 7:54. I'm gonna go ahead and end now, so I could go ahead and edit this stream and be ready to go with Pebbies around. I want to say like 9:30. Okay, so we will be live on the Zeb stream. So catch us over there. All right. With that being said, I'm out of here, bro. Everybody stay up, stay fresh. I will catch you on the next stream, man. Salutes. Yo, matter of fact, hold on. Ooh, hold on. Get rid of this. We're only one away. Okay, one away. Next donation will spin this wheel. Okay, I'll catch you on the next one, y'all. Salutes.
Gorilla booty cheeks, we clapping them gorilla booty cheeks, clapping them gorilla booty cheeks. We clapping gorilla cheeks, we clapping gorilla cheeks, we clapping gorilla cheeks. We clapping gorilla cheeks, we clapping gorilla cheeks, we clapping gorilla cheeks. We clapping gorilla cheeks, we clapping gorilla cheeks, we clapping gorilla cheeks. We clapping gorilla cheeks, we clapping gorilla cheeks, we clapping gorilla cheeks. Yeah, I'm clapping them booty cheeks. Gorillas, man, you know that shit make me weak. Silverback gorillas, I like to hit it fast. Booty cheeks bouncing all around that fucking ass. Hey, we clapping.